They say that the smartest people talk the most. They're wrong. The dangerously smart ones don't talk at all. They watch, they listen, they let everyone else reveal themselves first. You think silence means uncertainty. It doesn't. It means calculation. Because while others speak to be seen, you observe to understand. And by the time they realize you've been 3 steps ahead the whole time, it's already too late. You don't show it. You don't have to. The room adjusts before you even speak. People sense it in the way you look at things. The quiet precision, the stillness that feels like calculation. You're not loud, but your silence carries weight. You don't try to prove you're smart. That's what makes you dangerous. You listen longer, process faster, and act only when it matters. While others are still reacting, you've already understood the system. And that's what intelligence looks like when it matures. Less noise, more control. But behind that stillness lies something most will never recognize. Because being dangerously smart isn't about IQ. It's about instinct. It's about seeing what's really happening beneath what's being said and knowing when to stay quiet about it. It starts early. You learn to read the room before you could spell your name. You notice tone before words, patterns before meaning. You studied people not because you were curious, but because you had to be. The world rewarded you for understanding it faster than others, and you did, over and over, until it stopped feeling like talent and started feeling like armor. You built an internal map of how everything fits together: people, systems, moods. That's metacognition, thinking about thinking. You don't just process reality, you observe your own process while doing it. It's the mark of high cognition and the burden of never being able to turn it off. Because here's the paradox. The smarter you get, the quieter you become. The more you see, the less you need to say. You've realized that most arguments aren't about truth, they're about ego. Most opinions aren't ideas, they're identities. You stopped playing that game years ago, and that's when your intelligence became dangerous. Not because it hurts others, but because it threatens their illusion of control. Maybe you've noticed it. The subtle tension in rooms when you stay calm while others escalate. The way people ask for your advice, then resent how easily you find answers. Maybe you've stopped correcting people because you learned long ago. When you're 10 moves ahead, no one wants to know. Maybe you understate yourself on purpose, just to keep the peace. Maybe you hide how sharp you are behind politeness, small talk, minimal replies. Maybe you've realized that blending in is its own form of power. That's not arrogance, it's emotional intelligence, strategic empathy. You read people so well, you adjust before they even finish speaking. You know when to reveal truth and when to let silence do the work. You see patterns others ignore, motives they can't admit, outcomes they don't yet suspect. You've learned that intelligence isn't about showing off data. It's about timing, precision, and restraint. You let the world underestimate you because invisibility is leverage. But let's be honest, there's a cost. You don't switch off easily. You overanalyze silence, dissect subtext, notice inconsistencies others are blissfully blind to. Your mind runs like an engine with no brake. And sometimes you envy those who can live without decoding everything. They seem freer, lighter. You admire them, even as you know you can never quite be them. Because you see too much. You sense too deeply. You know too well how fragile perception is. You've mastered the art of prediction, socially, emotionally, strategically. But every genius instinct casts a shadow. You stop trusting simplicity. You question sincerity. You replay conversations in your head and spot the hidden motives. You don't just understand people, you anticipate them. That's the edge and the curse. Still, your intelligence isn't cold, it's refined. You've learned that true intellect is measured not by speed, but by depth. Not by knowing more, but by needing less. You've distilled chaos into clarity. That's rare. That's why you're different. The dangerously smart don't chase validation. They don't compete for dominance. They play an entirely different game. Self-mastery. Their focus isn't on winning arguments, it's on conserving energy. Not proving rightness, but protecting peace. You stopped trying to impress when you realized no one else was really listening. They were waiting to reply. So you stopped giving them the satisfaction. You smile instead. A small, knowing smile that says, "I see more than I say." Ask yourself, when did you first realize you understood the world faster than others? When did the gap stop feeling like pride and start feeling like distance? When did knowledge become both power and isolation? Maybe that's what intelligence does. It gives you clarity at the price of comfort. But clarity is what builds empires. Say it quietly. I don't need to prove what I already know. I don't need to react to be in control. I don't need to slow my thoughts to match someone else's confusion. I think clearly, see deeply, and choose silence not from fear, but from strength. There's something magnetic about that kind of mind. People feel it. They can't define it, but they sense it. The sharpness under the calm, the certainty under the stillness. The dangerously smart don't radiate arrogance. They radiate certainty, a kind of internal order that doesn't require noise. It's the elegance of someone who's already done the math and knows the outcome. You've probably noticed how the world reacts. Some people are drawn to you. They feel safe, intrigued, grounded. Others get defensive. Your calm threatens their chaos. Your precision exposes their guessing. And so they label you cold, distant, intimidating. But you know the truth. You're not detached. You're deliberate. You've learned to use intelligence like a blade. Sharp, but never reckless. You cut only when necessary. You speak only when the moment demands precision. You understand that every word carries energy. Every silence carries weight. You've become fluent in both. That's not manipulation. That's mastery of attention. While others chase novelty, you chase depth. You'd rather have 3 pages of wisdom than a lifetime of noise. You study patterns, motives, systems, how things truly work. That's why you move differently. That's why you never need to shout. Because true intelligence doesn't need a stage. It builds its own empire quietly. Picture this. You're sitting in a cafe somewhere along the Amalfi Coast. No laptop, no noise, just espresso and a notebook. Someone nearby tries to impress you, loud and eager, listing names and achievements. You nod politely, but your mind is already 10 layers deeper, mapping their insecurity, their hunger for validation, the childhood wound that drives their ambition. You don't judge, you simply see. And that seeing without reaction, without performance, is what makes you dangerous. The real power of intelligence isn't in understanding others. It's in mastering yourself. Knowing which battles are worth your energy, knowing when to walk away, when to stay silent, when to act with surgical precision. You don't burn bridges, you design exits. You don't explode, you evolve. And while others are trapped in noise, you're already 3 moves into clarity. Maybe that's why you draw certain people, the ones who crave calm in a chaotic world, the ones who recognize in you what they can't yet articulate, composure as magnetism, intelligence as intimacy. They don't follow you for answers, they follow you for stillness. Because your kind of smart doesn't talk, it stabilizes. There's beauty in that, power too. You've reached a point where you no longer need to prove your intelligence. It simply is. It's in your tone, your timing, your choices, the way you move slower than others but arrive first, the way you can make a room fall silent without saying a word. Because true intellect isn't about outsmarting people. It's about outgrowing the need to. You've stopped fighting for attention. You've started shaping outcomes. The dangerously smart don't dominate conversations. They direct atmospheres. They control tempo, energy, rhythm, and most don't even realize it's happening. You sit in the back, observing, decoding, deciding. You're never the loudest in the room, but somehow it's always your tempo they follow. And that's the secret. Intelligence isn't a spotlight, it's a gravitational pull. So you keep moving the way you do, calm, observant, deliberate. You don't announce, you arrive. You don't argue, you adjust. You don't react, you respond. And the world bends toward you because deep down, people trust the one who doesn't need to prove he's right. You finish your drink, glance out the window and smile. You've already seen what's coming next. You always do. That's the psychology of people who are dangerously smart. They don't just predict the world, they design their place in it. And maybe, just maybe, the real danger isn't how intelligent they are, but how quiet they've learned to be about it. And exactly there, in that stillness between thought and power, between seeing and speaking, is where their real genius lives. And that's where we'll continue next time.